Hey Auntie, what do we have here?
So B, here we have a cherry pepper plant, aka Weary Weary.
So basically the reason why it's called the cherry pepper plant is because it's kind of got like a cherry. It kind of looks like a cherry, the peppers, right?
That's right.
So you said that you germinated this in the garage or something? You germinated this and then they grew into this?
Yeah, so I actually germinated this tree.
We're going to want to back up a little bit because we got a bumblebee right there, you see?
Yeah, so it's pollinating.
Which is good, that's what we want. But also kind of bad because as you were saying earlier, sometimes it will cross-contaminate some of these peppers.
So the actual terminology is cross-pollinate.
So then that means that if it's a sweet pepper, if it gets cross-contaminated with like a really spicy pepper, then this pepper will become spicy. So that's basically what it means.
Okay, so we actually did germinate this plant inside 2 years ago.
Wow.
We used the paper towel method.
It is pretty big. Makes sense. It's a pretty big plant.
Yes. Last year we had a big tree and then we overwintered it. We talked about overwintering in our last video.
You put it in the garage, you cut off all the leaves, then they regrow next spring.
Exactly. And so overwintering last year, a lot of people didn't think that this tree would produce this year, but it did. So, tell me a little bit about what you know about the peppers when they ripen.
So, when they ripen, you're going to want to pick them when they start to become about yellow, because this is basically how it works. They're going to start like light green, kind of like this, then they're going to go dark green, then they're going to turn yellow, which is when you want to pick it, then orange, and then red. So, the reason why you're going to want to pick it when it's either dark green or yellow is because when you pick it when it's dark green or yellow, you bring it inside and it's going to continue ripening even though it's not on the tree. So that means that it's not going to put all its energy to ripening the plant while it's still on the tree. It can use the energy to make more peppers like that. So if you see one that's a nice dark green or light yellow, you're going to want to take it inside so that it can ripen there.
Good point, B. So now let's see another tree.
Okay. So what do we have here, Auntie?
So B, over here, what we have is a variety of a chili pepper. We actually got this from Uncle T, aka Ace. He provided me a little tiny tree like this last year and we overwintered it. We brought it in, same idea, and it's producing quite a lot of peppers, as you can see.
So what type of pepper plant is this?
So as I mentioned, it's a type of chili. I don't know exactly what kind, but it does look like the standard chili pepper. We noticed that a few of them have turned red on the tree. These ones are a very hot, spicy variety, a lot of heat.
Are they supposed to grow up like this? Because I've never actually seen that in peppers before.
Yes, so a lot of ornamental peppers or chili peppers do grow facing upwards, and this is one of them.
So Auntie, which one do we have here?
So this tree is actually one that Uncle R brought us. I think it's some type of Trinidadian, possibly Congo pepper.
Okay.
So we have one plant and we have a second variety of the same kind here. So as you can see, the shape of the pepper pods, they're a little bit interesting.
Kind of like a bell.
A little bit like a bell. You can see here how they're shaped. Yeah.
So when do you really want to pick these? Do they have to turn red or are they like kind of like green like the other ones?
Again, these, when they turn dark green, something like this one back here, this one here, you can pick it before it fully ripens. That way it focuses its energy
on the other ones.
And to produce more peppers.
So yeah, it looks like there's a bit of kind of like holes in these. What caused those? Are they like Japanese beetle attacks?
Exactly. So you've noticed that we've had a few Japanese beetles in our yard, and this is exactly what happens. You'll notice on some of the leaves they're eaten up, and even some of the peppers. I don't know how they survived to manage to eat these peppers because they are quite hot.
Well, what do we got here?
So over here, we were supposed to have what we call pimento tree. So this is another tree that we overwintered from last year, and it's producing quite a bit of pods here. One of the things that's interesting though is that it cross-pollinated with one of last year's peppers, which is called the 7-pot pepper.
Like we were talking about earlier, that means when a bee will take some pollen from the other one and pollinate this plant so that it kind of gets a bit spicy, kind of like the other one.
Exactly.
Basically kind of creating a new variety.
Exactly. And down here we have one that's ripening, so we can actually pick this one before it fully ripens.
So we want it kind of like dark green, light yellow, kind of like?
So this one actually doesn't turn dark green. It'll start turning yellow before it darkens.
And how is spicy would this be if I tasted it?
Well, because this one crossed with the 7 pot pepper, it's extremely hot. We'll do a taste test video later on.
Okay, so I don't know how. So is this the same pepper as the last one?
Yes, B. So this one actually is another pimento that was overwintered from last year.
So is this one also cross-pollinated, or?
We're not sure, so we're going to have to taste test it and figure it out.
Okay, well, I don't know how excited I am for that video.
Hey Auntie, these hot chili peppers don't look like these. What's going on?
So actually, on the label here, it says this is supposed to be a hot chili pepper, similar to the one that we saw in our last segment, growing upwards. And what we have actually is some long jalapeno looking peppers here. So it seems that when I purchased this from Reno Depot, it had the wrong label on it. So B, are these peppers hot? Do you know?
Well, I actually have no idea. They look kind of a bit pointy, but they might not actually be that hot.
But hang on, B. The other day I had you try one of these and it turned red.
Oh, really? So this is the same variety?
This is the same one, yeah.
Well, then that was not hot at all. I actually thought it tasted like a sweet pepper. So these are not hot at all because it was mislabeled.
So would you even call them jalapenos or not even?
I would just call them like a green, pointy sweet pepper, honestly.
Hey, Kay, what do we have here?
Well, the green ones, if you pick them when they're green, they're supposed to be sweet. And if you pick them when they're red, then they're hot.
Exactly. So these are what we call chili pie peppers, according to this label.
But for some reason, I tasted one of these when it was red, and it was not hot at all. It actually tasted a lot like the one that we had earlier.
That's true. So I'm not sure if there was something wrong with this label or the description is incorrect.
Or it could have been cross-contaminated. That's also another thing. Could it have been cross-contaminated to make it sweeter?
I don't think so because we don't have any other sweet peppers in the yard.